Welcome to this deep dive. Today, we're really unpacking the secrets to getting powerful, well-defined arms, and we're zeroing in on the triceps. You might actually be surprised that this muscle makes up, what, like two-thirds of your upper arm mass? So our mission today is simple. Get you totally up to speed on how to effectively train this really crucial muscle group using the great info you shared with us.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How often people kind of overlook the triceps, or at least the details. It's not just, one solid block of muscle back there.
Yeah.
It actually has three distinct heads, the long, lateral, and medial heads. That long head, for instance, is kind of unique, crosses the shoulder joint, which means how you position your arm really changes how much it works, giving you an edge for, well, overall arm thickness. Understanding that difference is really key to optimizing your training.
Okay, let's dig into that. So the triceps brachii, that's the big muscle on the back of your upper arm. Brachii, just meaning of the arm, right, for anyone wondering. And yeah, like you said, three heads. This is the muscle that gives your arms that real size and definition, the look lots of people are after. So knowing that, knowing about the three heads, how do we actually use that info in a workout? Our sources lay out a pretty great roadmap showing how specific exercises hit different parts. Let's dive in. First up, cable triceps pushdowns. These mainly hit the lateral head, right?
Exactly. And this is where technique really matters. That tip about keeping your elbows tight to your body. It's not just about isolating the muscle. It's also super important for, preventing shoulder strain and making sure all the force goes right into that lateral head. That's the part that gives you that horseshoe look people talk about. You flare your elbows out, you kind of lose that focus. Precision is key here.
Right, that makes sense. Avoid shoulder issues and really nail the muscle. Crucial point. Okay, so pushdowns get that lateral head. What's a good, compound exercise that hits all three heads for just building overall mass?
Well, for that, you'd probably look at the close grip bench press. It's fantastic. That closer grip really shifts the emphasis onto all three triceps heads. It's a real powerhouse for overall triceps development.
And the sources are pretty clear on the form for this one. Focus on pushing through your palms, keep those elbows close to your body, hands definitely closer than shoulder width apart. That really loads up the triceps.
Precisely. And, speaking of hitting the long head specifically, because that adds a lot of the mass, another great one the sources point out is skull crushers. You can do these with an EZ bar, or dumbbells work too.
Absolutely. Skull crushers really zone in on that long head. And the big tip here is don't flare your elbows out wide. You got to keep them relatively tucked as you lower the weight towards your forehead, or maybe just behind it. Flaring them out, that just puts unnecessary strain on your elbow joints and kind of shifts the focus away. Less effective for that long head.
Yeah, and that long head is just so important for the overall thickness, like we said, because of where it attaches. So hitting it directly with skull crushers and also the next exercise or sources mentioned is pretty essential.
Right. Which brings us to the overhead triceps extension. You can do this with a dumbbell or a cable setup, another really excellent one for the long head. The advice is usually use both hands if the weight's heavy. Keep the movement controlled. As you lift overhead and then lower it behind your head, that stretch you feel in the bottom position, that really emphasizes the long head.
Totally. And we shouldn't forget dips. Body weight or machine-assisted whips. These hit all the heads, but they seem to have a primary focus on the long head as well. And to really make sure you're hitting the triceps hard, not just the chest, the sources say lean slightly forward, just a subtle lean. That little shift in angle changes the leverage, makes it a great triceps builder.
Good tip. Okay, one more the sources highlighted. Triceps kickbacks, dumbbell or cable again. These target the lateral head, kind of like the pushdowns. And the key advice here, use lightweight. Keep the form super strict. No swinging the weight around. Focus on a controlled, deliberate extension, arm going straight back. Really feel that squeeze in the outer triceps. We've all seen it, right? Someone in the gym swinging crazy heavy weight on kickbacks.
Oh, yeah.
And our sources really underline why that just, defeats the purpose if you're trying to target that lateral head properly.
Yeah, exactly. Which kind of brings us to the bigger question, doesn't it? Why does knowing all this matter? Which head gets hit by which exercise? Well, it matters because if you strategically pick your exercises, understanding what they do, you can ensure, complete balanced development. You can target areas you feel are lagging or just build overall balance, strength, and size. It really highlights how a deeper grasp of your own anatomy makes your workouts way more effective. More efficient, too. You avoid imbalances, unlock growth maybe you didn't think was possible.
So wrapping this up, what's the bottom line for you listening? You now have a much more targeted way to think about building your triceps. You don't just know what exercises to do, but why they work, which part of the muscle they hit. It helps you optimize for growth and get that look you might be going for.
It really is about moving beyond just like mindlessly doing exercises. It's about consciously training muscles, training with intent. And that informed approach, that unlocks so much more potential for balanced, powerful arms.
Okay, so here's a final thought to chew on. Think about how applying this level of specific anatomical understanding just for your triceps could maybe change your whole approach to fitness. What other muscles, what other body parts might have surprising opportunities for growth and strength if you applied the same deep dive thinking? Something to consider.